let's start Volume 1 of Omnibus. You know that there's come into New York a company of players. They're here at the Mark Hellinger before they go off around the country. And they are the first permanent American team of Gilbert and Sullivan players. Now, of course, in order to give this the proper style and flair, we imported a whole boatload of, inevitably, English stars. Come and see who they are. We have, for instance, Martyn Green and Martyn Green. And the greatest of all Gilbert and Sullivan players, Martyn Green.
Well, here's the how to do it.
Mr. Green, it's a delight to have you on the first volume of Omnibus.
Thank you, Mr. Cooke.
If we could step into your dressing room, I'd like to know about a little secret I want to share with you.
Why, certainly.
Could we do that?
Yes, come on.
Hey, I tell you what it is. It's about this tradition. What is the secret of the Gilbert and Sullivan tradition?
Oh, no stars.
No stars?
No stars. Come in.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Sit down, will you? You see, in Gilbert and Sullivan, we rely on teamwork. The whole company work together as one man without any thought for personal glory.
That's pretty revolutionary, isn't it? I mean, could we see this in action?
Yes. How much time can you give me?
Oh, I would say about 8 minutes.
8 minutes? Why, we can do the whole plot of the Mikado in that time.
But it's rather elaborate, isn't it?
Elaborate? Nonsense, my dear fellow. Look, hand me my fan, will you? And you there, move that scenery.
Gentlemen, I am much touched by this reception. I can only trust that by strict attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those favors which it will ever be my study to deserve. Should I ever be called upon to act professionally, I am happy to think that there will be no difficulty in finding plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed, There's the pestilential nuisances who write for autographs, all people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs, all children who are up in dates and floor you with them flat, all people who on shaking hands shake hands with you like that, and all third persons who on spoiling tete-a-tetes insist, they'd none of them be missed.
He's got 'em on the list, he's got 'em on the list, and none of them be missed, they'll none of them be missed.
Then the idiot who praises with enthusiastic tone all centuries but this and every country but his own, and the lady from the provinces who dresses like a guy, who doesn't think she dances but would rather like to try, and that singular anomaly, the girl who's never kissed, well, I don't think she'd be missed. I'm sure she'd not be missed.
He's got her on the list, he's got her on the list, and I don't think she'll be missed. I'm sure she'll not be missed.
And that nice high-pious nuisance who just now is rather rife, the judicial humorist, I've got him on the list. All funny fellows, comic men, and clowns of private life, they'd none of them be missed. And apologetic statesmen of a compromising kind, such as whatchamacallhim, Thingamabob, and likewise, well, never mind. And Tut, and what's his name? And also, well, You know who. But the task of filling up the blanks I'd rather leave to you. But it really doesn't matter whom you place upon the list, for they'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list, you may put them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed, they'll none of them be missed.
Katisha, for years I have loved you with a white-hot passion, which is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Shrink not from me. Cat. Katisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it, darling.
Go to. Who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave. And an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, tit willow, tit willow. That 'twas blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why, though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow.
Oh, I'm a silly little goose.
You are.
And I'm not beautiful.
No.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come miles to see it. My right elbow has a fascination few can resist.
Allow me.
What, after all, is beauty?
What?
There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There is eloquent outpouring when the lion is roaring and the tiger is a lashing of his tail.
Yes, I'd like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when a lashing of his tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify the dogs. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing less terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing very down, very, it's evident, very, our tastes are one. Away we'll go, and merrily, marry, nor tardily, tarry till day is done. There is beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
True. outside dominion, it's the general opinion that she lasts a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic and a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing down, Debbie, it's evident the very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily mang or tardily tarry till day is done. Sing down, Debbie, we'll merrily mang or tardily tarry till day is done.
If that is so, sing down, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily mang or tardily tarry till day is done. Sing down, merrily mang or tardily tarry till day is done.
Well, how was that, Mr. Cooke?
That was wonderful. And you did it all in 8 minutes.
Yes, the entire plot of the Mikado. You see how we work together? As I told you, a tradition of self-sacrifice, teamwork.
There's a little snag, though. Isn't there rather more plot in the Mikado?
More plot?
I don't mean stars, but principles. You know, the wandering minstrel and Yum-Yum and the Mikado himself, am I right?
Oh, well, technically, you're absolutely right. But everybody knows the plot of the Mikado revolves entirely around Cooke. You tend to miss the point, of course, because of the tradition of self-sacrifice, of everybody remaining inconspicuous.
Oh, I spotted you in there, though.
You did?
I did.
You'll keep it yourself, though, won't you?
Of course, of course. Delighted to have you, Mr. Green. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Cooke.